I was having a conversation with a colleague, and they were sharing how they were trying to balance learning new things with making substantial progress. And the context is that they were in a place where they are constantly making these little short snippets of things that are cool, but nothing that is portfolio worthy, if you will. And ultimately, this cycle has led to them being frustrated because it stopped being fun for them when they made 100+ things that were ultimately unfinished. Have you been here before? I know I have. Just spinning my wheels, knowing and even feeling like there is a light at the end of this tunnel. And it's an unspoken labor of love. It's an invisible pain that we experience of just putting out so much effort and feeling like you have nothing to show for it. So today, I want to not only let you know that you are not alone in this experience, but also talk about how we can get past and through this painful cycle. So how do we start to strategically improve?
I'm feeling sentimental.
Hey, music executives. Welcome to The Music Executive, a show where we dive into what it takes to build a sustainable, profitable, and holistic music career. I'm Cinnamon Denise, your host. If you are a full-time, part-time, or hobbyist in the music industry, you are certainly in the right place. I started The Music Executive to address the common obstacles we face in this industry, but more specifically, how these obstacles directly impact our mental and physical well-being. Let's do this, music executives. So you're wanting to really get out of the debilitating cycle of just putting out all of this effort and having nothing complete or whatever you deem worthwhile. As I stated, this show explores how to build a sustainable, profitable, and holistic music career. The holistic aspect is right here. I see you. This is a very frustrating place to be, and I have been and still land here from time to time. I see you. Now, from the profitable aspect, it's impossible to ever be making money with this cycle, period. And from the sustainable aspect, this cycle simply isn't sustainable because it takes an intense hit to your confidence and will have you questioning things that you probably weren't even previously questioning. Today, I'll be vulnerable and use myself as an example, but y'all go easy on me, I'm sensitive. Here is how I got out of this cycle, and here is how hopefully you can too. First, figure out 5 to 10 things you're really good at. Ask yourself right now, as it relates to music and your uniqueness, what am I really good at? And I mean exceptionally good at. The key here, be honest. Not what you want to be good at. What are you good at right here, right now? And answer this question fearlessly. Answer it without society or stereotypes skewing your judgment. In no particular order, my list of 5 to 10 things that I'm really good at are 1, singing. I've been singing so long that I can nearly sing anything I want. My voice is under control. And if I can't do it, I can figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, no one will notice. Okay. Number 2, playing the bassoon. I have learned what the bassoon means to me musically and how I can integrate it into my own creative work in an organic and unique way. 3, arranging. I can really get ahead of a lot of mixing issues because of how I intuitively arrange and mix as I produce. I have a background in music composition and orchestration, so I take that energy into my productions. 4, producing. I am an incredible producer. I can take any idea, no matter how obscure, and make an oral experience that reflects that. Doesn't have to be music. It can be a podcast, voiceover, screenwriting, etc. 5, project management. I am great at breaking down creative projects. I understand what it takes to take most creative projects from conception to completion. And if I don't, I know when I need to get another person to help me, and I know what type of person I'm looking for. Number 6, processes. I have had to work really hard to acquire this one, but as this episode will show, I'm great at learning how to iterate creative processes. Creativity is process oriented, and I think that this is often a very overrated, maybe underrated skill. Okay. 7, songwriting. I am so good at writing songs. I have worked to find my own voice when it comes to songwriting and iterate on it. And I can use a lot of the previous skills that I just mentioned to get to the finish line of a song. Okay, so that is a list of 7, but feel free to go to 10. But stop at 10. Ask yourself what you're good at. Now, without sharing your list, ask 1 to 3 people you really respect and admire what they think you're good at. I asked 2 people this question, and they ultimately said producing, singing, playing the bassoon, songwriting, and being kind. And the being kind was really cool because, yay, I'm a nice person. I can dig it, Now, take your list, take their list, and narrow it down to 3 things that you're good at. It is beyond important to ask yourself first, then ask others what you're good at, because you don't want others' opinions to sway you from your raw answer. But instead, you want their answers to affirm your answers or highlight new perspectives, such as your kind that I received. This is super important. Narrow your list down to 3. Don't go to 4. Don't stop at 2. Okay, very rarely am I like, don't do this. But this time, I'm just going to ask you to trust me. 3 things. If you need help with narrowing it down further, your list of things you're good at, ask yourself more practical questions like, what can I currently charge people for? What have I been doing the longest and most consistently? What is in alignment with what I want to do moving forward? If you were put into a group with 5 other people, what things from your list would you probably gravitate to or find yourself the most useful for in that group? And last but not least, this is very important with your list. You must enjoy doing these 3 things. You must. It cannot be just an I'm good at this. This is where the holistic part of this process comes in. These 3 things must bring you joy, energize you, bring you enjoyment. Okay? So I narrowed down my list and they were songwriting, producing, and being kind. I really like that someone said that I was really good at being kind. So I was like, yeah, we're going to keep that one. So now that we have our list of 3 things that we're good at, here is the next step. Do those 3 things only for the next 2 to 3 months. Little tangent, I started weightlifting in January of 2023, and I learned that it's best to stay heads down on your workout plan and goal for 2 to 3 months at a time before you make any changes or feel like you're not making progress. There is a reason why things are often split into quarterly goals and reporting in the corporate world. There is a reason why you go weightlifting. You got to focus on your plan for at least 3 months at a time. So I'm telling you, do only these 3 things for 2 to 3 months and give yourself parameters to abide by during this time. For me, my parameters were for me to spend 90 minutes a week producing a 30 to 90 second song, or what I now call a microbop. And during my 90 minutes of work, I may sing, I may play the bassoon, because those are inherently part of my process. And a successful 90-minute session was a 30 to 60 second song that I recorded and produced. I did this for 2 months. And naturally, I developed my own process. I realized that I needed 30 minutes to just throw spaghetti at the wall, and then I would listen back to all my ideas and spend 30 minutes putting it together. I also realized that I had to make decisions much faster, and every decision was much more impactful when I had a 90-minute time frame to do things in. I would even spend the last 30 minutes fine-tuning what I created. As far as being kind, I would spend up to 30 minutes every day doing something nice for someone else. Whether it was me showing them how to do something, cooking dinner for my partner, making someone a gift, writing a nice text message to someone I loved, I would just spend 30 minutes being kind. Okay? For 2 to 3 months, do your 3 things only. Here is what will happen. Your confidence is going to go through the roof. You're going to be so impressed with yourself, baby. More than you already were. And everything that you create is going to be worthwhile, because these are the 3 things that you're really good at, which means you'll probably be able to do them efficiently, effectively. You'll feel good about it. Now, after you've done your 3 things for 90 days, this is your pivotal moment. Think of one thing that you want to get better at doing. So this one thing should not be on your initial list of things, right? It shouldn't be on your initial list of 5 to 10 things. This could be a new instrument that you're learning. It could be a social media posting content cadence. For me, I wanted to get better at mixing. Take your list of 3 things and replace it with one thing you want to get better at. One thing, baby. One thing you want to get better at. Make a decision. I know you want to get better at all 11 things at the same time, but I'm telling you, pick one and be specific. So me saying I want to get better at mixing was way too broad. I changed it to become, I want to get better at making a producer mix. So what I did there was take that new thing, mixing, and found a way to supplement it and put it in the context of the things that I'm good at: producing. Said in a different way, instead of me being like, I want to become a mixing engineer, I said, I want to learn how to mix my productions better. My new list of 3 things became producing, mixing, and being kind. So I spent the next 3 months, 90 days, doing those 3 things. And y'all, what happened? I kid you not, my productions got exponentially better because I was still working on something that I ultimately want to be the best at. And now I understand producing with mixing in mind like nobody's business. I can hear a production with mixing issues and identify how to solve many of the mixing problems back in the production phase. I feel like I have a freaking superpower. And now I'm able to send potential clients my work without having to have a final mix. I have a mix that is worthwhile for the client to listen to. And I also kept up with my being kind for 30 minutes a day. What happened with that one? People started returning the favor. I started receiving really kind messages from people that I wasn't normally in contact with. I was presented with more opportunities to network and further my career than I could have asked for. And by transitive property, law of attraction, I was happier because I saw progress in all facets of my life. I saw progress in my relationships, in my career, and most importantly, in myself. Remember when I said doing 3 things that you're good at for 2 to 3 months will help build your confidence? That is so important to this process because when the rubber meets the road for real, on that one thing you want to get better at, your confidence is going to take way less of a hit. In fact, you should have built up enough self-confidence equity that you subconsciously understand that the obstacles you face when you're learning this new thing are going to subside. And if you need to, after those 90 days of solid effort, you can go back to your first list of 3 things, right? That's your safety net. That's your ego protection net. And you need some stability and reminder that you can do hard things, not just determination. You need results. And nothing is wrong with wanting to see results. There's something wrong with not being consistent and expecting to see results. After doing this for only a year, y'all, you will be good, if not great, at probably 6 things, right? And you will have strategically improved. Remember, this is not easy, but it is fun and you can do it. You can improve in a way that is meaningful to you. All right, music executives, that is it for this episode. To recap, make a list. Make a list of 3 things you are good at. Cross-check it with 1 to 3 other people and do those 3 things for 2 to 3 months. Then replace one of those items on your list with something that you want to improve at. I'm going to close out this episode with one of the microbops that I produced when I went through this process. It is a microbop called Quiet. I'll see you next time. Remember, this isn't easy, but it is fun. Here is Quiet. You should really think about being quiet. If they start to sell common sense on a shelf, hope you buy it. God damn. Why are you so afraid of your own silence? If I ever say I love you, no, I'm lying. I be lying. 'Cause you try so hard not to walk away from all your responsibilities. But just know that when it's all said and done, you probably just should have been quiet. You should have been quiet. You should really think about being quiet. Don't say a word, quiet.
I'm feeling sentimental.